Good morning. I'd like to call the Finance Committee meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Mr. Eckhoff?
Present.
Mr. Fairfield? Mr. Hess? Ms. Polk? Ms. Weber?
Present.
Ms. Parker? Mr. Seroy? Mr. Swanson?
Present.
Mr. Featherling?
Present.
Mr. Dunnell?
Present.
Mr. Miller?
Present.
Mr. Long?
Present.
Mr. Hunter?
Present. Zoom.
Mr. Wheeler?
Present.
Mr. Alexander Hildebrand?
Present.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Could I have a motion to allow Mr. Hunter to come in via Zoom? Mr. Featherling, second by Mr. Long. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Next up is the approval of minutes. I think Kelly printed out a couple of corrections on the minutes that Carol Weber caught. If Ms. Weber, would you like to make the motion on the minutes?
I move we accept the minutes as presented.
Ms. Weber made the motion, second by Mr. Dunnell. Any discussion or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Mr. McCarty. You have all the financial reports, cash flow update in your packet as well. Good morning, Steve.
Good morning. Alright. First group is our normal tax collections, major revenue items. Only one to really identify any concern, not concern, but what we are expecting is the PPRT, personal property replacement tax, that definitely took a turn. So it appears like it may start heading back to what we were expecting it to do. So we'll continue to follow all of them, but it's not a concern, but just it does look concerning when you see $203,000 negative change from a year ago. But we expect it to adjust potentially to about the $1.7 million range of decrease. So we'll see how that continues to flow. So other than that, bed rental continues higher than a year ago in the trend. So I don't know if there's any questions. I won't spend a lot of time now, so if anybody has any questions on that.
Questions, comments? All right, cash flow update.
All right. All good news. So yeah, I mean, good news, it speaks for itself. So I'm happy, I'm smiling because of that. A few years back at this time of year, I would not be smiling, would not be sleeping, but so everything's good. I don't know if there's any questions. I won't spend a lot of time on that unless we have specific questions.
Very good dollar amount in the bank right now. Any questions, comments, concerns from the committee? All right, claims recommended, not recommended for approval?
I don't have any.
Okay, so none actually showed up.
None showed up this month.
So that's positive. Monthly claims report. Any
Don't have
questions?
anything. Yeah, nothing specific now, so there's questions.
Can I have a motion to approve? Mr. Long, second by Mr. Miller. This will be a roll call vote.
Mr. Eckhoff?
Aye.
Mr. Fairfield?
Aye.
Mr. Hess?
Aye.
Ms. Weber?
Aye.
Ms. Parker? Aye. Mr. Swanson?
Aye.
Mr. Featherling?
Aye.
Mr. Dunnell?
Aye.
Mr. Miller?
Aye.
Mr. Long?
Aye.
Mr. Hunter?
Aye.
Mr. Wheeler?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Next up is tax year 2022 property tax abatement.
Yeah, we need to add one more item. We did the other two, I believe, in September, and then this the series 2022 is for the new animal control building. And talking to Dan Hendrickson and his staff, it appears that this needs to go for this year as well for tax year 22 payable in 23. So we have the funds, so we will be doing this every year now, going through this abatement process. So this is something that we just need to do every year now for these bonds.
Can I have a motion to abate property tax abatement for tax year 2022? Motion by Ms. Parker, second. Mr. Swanson. Roll call.
Mr. Eckhoff?
Aye.
Mr. Fairfield?
Aye.
Mr. Hess? Ms. Weber?
Aye.
Ms. Parker? Mr. Swanson?
Aye.
Mr. Featherling?
Aye.
Mr. Dettle?
Aye.
Mr. Miller?
Aye.
Mr. Long?
Aye.
Mr. Hunter?
Aye.
Mr. Wheeler?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Next up is amending resolution 2023-03-1464 FY 22 budget amendment. There was a Scrivener's error.
Yeah, my error. I apologize for having to bring this back. It's mainly on the expense document for the budget amendment, and what happened was there was some hidden cells. I use this budget document for, you know, everything, the originals and projections, and then amendments like this, and there were some values in some closed cells that I didn't see, and when I tried to reconcile it to the system and getting all these entered, it wouldn't add up to the bottom line. So I finally found it. So the only thing that needs to be changed is the general fund total to be $35,142,492 is the specific adjustment. All of the other department numbers are exactly the same. It changed the total because of those hidden values. So we just need to clean that up for the outside auditors.
Motion to approve the amending of the resolution. Mr. Fairfield, second by Mr. Featherling. Next. Roll call.
Mr. Hickoff?
Aye.
Mr. Fairfield? Mr. Hess? Ms. Weber?
Aye.
Ms. Parker? Mr. Swanson? Mr. Featherling? Mr. Dettle?
Aye.
Mr. Miller?
Aye.
Mr. Long?
Aye.
Mr. Hunter?
Aye.
Mr. Wheeler?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Next up, ARPA request.
All right, the first one I have is for the Kankakee County Fire Chiefs Association. I believe this is going to assist in training. Some of the information, the request was for $20,000, and it is part of the non-covered government. They're assisting non-covered governments for the training, so it falls underneath that category.
Motion approved.
Motion by Mr. Hunter for $20,000 to the Fire Chiefs Association. Second.
Second.
Second by Mr. Dunnell. This will be a voice vote. All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries.
The next one, Catholic Charities under the Diocese of Joliet. The requested amount was $20,000. Since this is a non-for-profit, they were eligible for $10,000. They do in their description in the request letter do say it's for Kankakee County residents, but we will make sure that that's communicated with them as well for, you know, to make sure that it is for only Kankakee County residents. So they're part of their descriptions to provide Kankakee County residents who are in need with household assistance, including mortgage, rent, and utility assistance, along with related case management services, as far as what the money will be for.
I just have a question. How would we know if it went to Kankakee County residents?
We will request and ask them to keep specific
Okay.
information on that. Location, addresses, things of those nature.
Motion to approve $10,000 for nonprofit assistance, Kankakee County residents only. Can I have a motion to approve? Mr. Miller, second by Mr. Dunnell. Any comments or questions for this one? This will be a voice. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
The next one is for Josh's Pizza, doing business as Johnny's Pizza. They did provide their tax returns, and they do qualify for $5,000. The request was for $50,000, but within a municipality or city limits, it's a $5,000 cap, so they do qualify with the information that they provided us.
Can I have a motion to approve $5,000 cap for small business assistance to Josh's Pizza? Motion by Mr. Fairfield, second by Mr. Dunnell. Any questions, comments, or concerns? This will be a voice. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
All right, the next one, Option Center for Independent Living. This is a second request. We did fund $10,000 previously. They said in their notes that they served 4 consumers with the previous funds, and their narrative discusses a ramp assistance program. So for so they will, you know, mobile ramps, modular ramps, things of those nature, and then again, Kankakee County residents only. We will look for backup for that. So they
Motion
do
to
fall-
approve.
Yeah, 10,000.
Motion by Mr. Hunter for Option Center of Independent Living, $10,000 cap, Kankakee County residents only. Second. Second by Mr. Dunnell. Questions, comments? All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries.
Next one, Bishop McNamara High School. This is specifically for upgrades to the softball field at the school. Their request was for 10,000. There is a quote for 11,685. So this is the second round. The first round we helped with 10,000 for air conditioning unit. This one is for electrical upgrade, infrastructure upgrade for the softball field.
Motion approved.
Motion approved by Mr. Hunter for $10,000 non-cap assistant electrical project for the softball field at the school, Bishop McNamara High School. Motion, second. Second by Mr. Dunnell. Comments or Mr. Wheeler?
Just so the committee knows and the board knows, we discussed this one and in depth because and the reason we're recommending approval for the most part is, well, it qualifies in that the community uses that field. It's not just for Bishop McNamara High School. They let people use that field from all walks of life, all parts of the county. So we did look at it as a community asset and not benefiting one school or another.
Very good. Any other comments or discussion? All in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
All right, next one, Driven by Ambition LLC. This is, their address is in Pembroke Township. It's a semi-truck business with the information that they provided, and being that it's rural, they are eligible for 10,000. Their request was for 50,000. But as far as small business cap in an unincorporated area would be 10,000. So everything that they provided does meet our requirements.
Can I have
Motion approved.
motion approved by Mr. Hunter for Driven by Ambition, $10,000 for a small bit. What's it? Second by Mr. Dunnell. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Can I have a motion to combine and approve all these ARPA requests? Do you have a question? Can I get a motion first? Mr. Long made the motion. Second by Mr. Dunnell. Comment by Mr. Featherling. Hold on one second, sir. Go ahead. Use your microphone, please.
I was looking at this last night. I just caught this again now. The animal control building for the ARPA funds, wasn't that supposed to be $1.1 million?
That's the next item.
I know, but okay, go ahead.
Well, we'll go
I
ahead
thought
and
you were done.
no, we'll go ahead and do this, combine, approve, and then we'll go ahead and go into lost revenue. Any comments or questions on this round of ARPA? Roll call, please.
Mr. Eckhoff?
Aye.
Mr. Fairfield?
Aye.
Mr. Hess?
Aye.
Ms. Weber?
Aye.
Ms. Parker?
Aye.
Mr. Swanson?
Aye.
Mr. Featherling?
Aye.
Mr. Dunnell?
Aye.
Mr. Miller?
Aye.
Mr. Long?
Aye.
Mr. Hunter?
Aye.
Mr. Wheeler?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Motion carries. Lost revenue, Kankakee County Animal Control Building.
Yeah, this is, the board is authorized, obviously, the animal control construction. However, looking through the notes, we did not specifically do a resolution for directly for ARPA, so that way it meets the Department of Treasury backup and board approval for specifically using ARPA funds for the project. Yeah, I had it at 1.5 million. There was, through all the multiple sources of payment of those between animal control, the bark money, the bond, and then ARPA, I had it at 1.5 million. I don't know, Mr. Chairman, I don't know if you have anything else to add to that, but.
It was 1.5. This is all the cost overrun from initial estimate due to supply chain and material cost increases, and it was 1.5. And it was a not to exceed number.
Any questions, comments from the committee? Can I have a motion to approve the animal control building out of lost revenue? Mr. Long, second by Mr. Swanson. Oh, sorry. Any other comments or questions? Roll call.
Mr. Eckhoff?
Aye.
Mr. Fairfield?
Aye.
Mr. Hess?
Aye.
Ms. Weber?
Aye.
Ms. Parker?
Aye.
Mr. Swanson?
Aye.
Mr. Featherling?
Aye.
Mr. Dennell?
Aye.
Mr. Miller?
Aye.
Mr. Long?
Aye.
Mr. Hunter?
Aye.
Mr. Wheeler?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Next up, the end of the public health emergency, May 11th, Phase 1, KCR3, respond.
If I could, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, Mr. Wheeler.
Okay, thank you. So when the federal government, and we knew this was going to happen at some point, they came out, both the state and the federal government came out with May 11th as the official end of the COVID health emergency. So as such, some of our, and Steve can talk about this a little bit, but we had to reassess, the dedication of funds towards the response part of this. Since the public health emergency is ending, we had to take a look and kind of take stock in what was spent, what wasn't spent, what was not picked up or collected by awarded entities. And then also in the same time, when you look at the evaluation of what this board put together in terms of criteria, to base their decisions on the tax years of 1920 and 20 and 21. Sorry, I've got a typo on the looks like the PowerPoint there, but those have already been submitted, and like a year ago. So the basis of impact by the pandemic, we're kind of like a year away from that documentation period. So the kind of thought that this was a good idea to kind of wrap up the first part. And kind of gather all the unspent reserved allocations and then kind of put them into the ARPA funds, because we have to reallocate those funds by 12/31/24 per the federal requirements. So, and it's important to note that the $2 million social service grants are not part of this. That's a different timeline. It's a different bucket of money. So it's pretty much going from the end of the kind of the response phase, if you will, and moving forward into the other projects that will be the revitalized and the other things that we were talking about and working on in terms of county infrastructure, partnerships within the community, the social programming that we're talking about, those things. So if we could get to the timeline slide, I don't know what's up on the screen there. I just have what's in front of me here, but we kind of went backwards and forwards with this, starting with really 11/30/24 is the date that we would have. That's the end of our budget year in 24. So we'd want to have everything kind of reallocated by that point, so we're in line with the law. So working backwards, we would end phase 1 of the application process on April 7th at 4 p.m. I believe that's a Friday. It gives people runway to be able to put in their last bite of the apple, so to speak. If we'll be able to have this last submission period, and then we'll process those next month at the April 25th finance and then the May 9th full board. We will also need to vote to return the internal allocations as appropriate on May 9th, 2023, so they can get those things, and Steve will have all of that coming up here in just a moment. But we definitely want to get that, into the bucket, if you will, and move all the staff and the projects and everything that either was unspent, like the board voted $140,000 for a ARPA lawyer, if you will, to make sure that we were staying within the guide rails necessary. And then we found that, we had more expertise than the legal minds that were looking at it out of our finance department in terms of the submission guidelines. And then we obviously use our internal staff as needed as well. So that's just an example. There's others like that. We would need to authorize finance, the staff, to move all the unclaimed funds back by 4/31/24, and then reallocate by 11/30/24. What that allows us to do is to take assessment where we're at kind of mid-year in 24, and then plan out how we're going to reallocate that money for the rest of the year. We didn't want to have that, right up at the end of October, we're doing budgets, and then all of a sudden, wow, what are we going to spend this money that is now unallocated, unclaimed? So we want to give ourselves runway to make intelligent decisions in that time period. So And again, those funds must be allocated by 12/30. So really, that's what we're doing today is for finance to allow this process under those timelines that are mentioned there to start moving forward so we can really get a full assessment of where we're at, what is needs to be reallocated, and the projects that we have on tap.
Very good.
I hope that was thorough. And if there's any questions, I can try to answer them best I can.
30 days.
You want to go ahead and say that on the mic, Mr. Long? Mr. Long.
Just a Scribner's point, there was only 30 days in April.
Well, I was never good with that little nursery rhyme.
Me either, I had to look it up.
Good catch, Mr. Long. Any questions from the committee? No questions. Can I have a motion to approve the end of the public health emergency May 11th and phase 1 of KCR 3 respond? Motion by Mr. Featherlane and second by Mr. Featherfield. All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Authorizing the return of internal allocations as appropriate. Chairman Wheeler or
Well, Steve, yeah, what we just voted on allows this next thing to happen. If we were to vote on this at the full board, then these things can happen. So Steve can kind of run through that real quick. He's got it in front of him.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, you have a document that is combined, has 3 resolutions, and then at the bottom, it also talks about other ARPA mitigation expense. So we currently have 2 maintenance department employees that were doing extra cleaning, that were hired to do extra cleaning, 7 COs, a couple at full-time percentages and others at part-time percentages. They're full-time employees, but as far as how we were splitting out their time, doing mitigation duties, and then medical staff managing COVID illness within the corrections department. So because of the end of the pandemic is May 11th, we will stop that internal charging of these employees to ARPA, and they will all just be general fund. So that's part of the internal. We still have some employees as far as management of ARPA funds, and also as determined, we've also talked with the court staff, court-related staff, and the backlog that COVID created in the court system. They are still working to do that. So we believe, with the best guidance that we can find and get from the Treasury, which is not a lot on this, but we feel that we're good to continue with trying to, catch up, if you will, with the backlog at the court system. So we're specifically going after the mitigation, part of the pandemic with, at this stage. So I don't know if that is clear, and what we're doing with the employees' internal allocation.
questions from the committee? So we need a motion for motion to authorize the return of internal allocations as appropriate. Motion by Mr. Fairfield, second by Mr. Dunnell. Questions or comments? Should this be a roll call? Because it's dealing with money and people.
Sure.
Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Eckhoff?
Aye.
Mr. Fairfield? Mr. Hess? Mr. Hess?
Question, Mr. Huss?
Thank you, Chairman.
Yep.
Actually, what we're doing is repealing that ARPA resolution too at the same time. Should we combine all of these? It's all, the way it reads, it's all the same thing, correct?
Yeah, well, on the document it's together, but on the agenda, the resolutions are identified individually.
That's what I mean. Should we combine them and approve them like that?
Okay, so can the first and the second remove the motions from the floor? You agree, Mr. Dunnell? Okay. Mr. Hess, would you like to make the motion to combine and approve authorizing the return of internal allocations as appropriate, and the repeal of ARPA resolutions 2021-10-12-39 or 379, and resolution 2021-09-14-316, and resolutions 2022-10-11-212. You make that motion?
Yes, but I'd also authorize the
Include.
finance department to move unclaimed funds back by April 31st. It's all in the same package.
Okay. So Mr. Hess makes that motion, second by Ms. Parker. Any comment?
Clarification?
Mr. Chairman Wheeler.
Yes, he said 212. It's actually 210, I believe. I just want to make sure that's what my paperwork says. is
My
210.
apologies, yes.
Yeah, I just want to make it clear. It would have been correct, but we'd have to come back and fix it, so.
Correct.
All right, thank you.
Any questions from the committee? All right, roll call.
Mr. Eckhoff?
Aye.
Mr. Fairfield?
Aye.
Mr. Hess?
Aye.
Ms. Weber?
Aye.
Ms. Parker?
Aye.
Mr. Swanson?
Aye.
Mr. Featherling?
Aye.
Mr. Dennell?
Aye.
Mr. Miller?
Aye.
Mr. Long?
Aye.
Mr. Hunter? Mr. Wheeler?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Mr. Hess, and thank you very much, Steve.
Okay, thanks.
Have a great day.
You too.
Next up is County Treasurer Nick Africano. In your packet, you have the County Treasurer's Report and the Collector's Report and monthly resolutions. Can I have a motion to combine and approve the reports? Ms. Parker, second by Mr. Long. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Mr. Africano.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
I don't have much to add today except that tax bills are right around the corner, and we're looking at a due date of around the end of June, and so I know there's confusion sometimes when the first distribution of money will be, and it will be 30 days after the due date, and all taxing bodies should plan appropriately for that. Other than that, you can still prepay up until about the 1st of May. So we have a lot of people taking advantage of that. So I would encourage people to continue to tell people about that program. So other than that, I'd entertain questions.
Any questions for the treasurer? No questions.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next up is the auditor's office. Again, nobody's from the auditor's office. It's been 1,097 days now since the auditor has been before this committee. And just so everybody here knows that the auditor has collected a salary of $209,000 since the last time he's actually been here. So just so this committee knows, and that does not include benefits or pension. Next up, other business. Authorizing the intergovernmental agreement between Kankakee County Sheriff's Department and the Department of Children and Family Services. Can I have a motion to approve, or Sheriff, you want to talk about this? Okay. Yeah. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Good morning. So, the Department of Children and Family Services, I want to say 2 to 3 years ago, our legislature actually passed and the governor signed the ability for the Department of Children and Family Services to contract with local sheriff's offices and local sheriff's offices only. The legislation did not include municipal policing, probably for reasons that DCFS goes through the entire county, not just one municipality. So the issue arose when I believe there's been at least 2 occasions where DCFS workers were seriously hurt while they were doing some sort of work or business at a residence involving children. In fact, I believe one may have been killed, if I recall correctly. So the legislation passed. Right now, I believe there are 7 or 8 counties in the state of Illinois, Sangamon County I know being one, because I talked to him about this program and how it works for them, who have entered into an agreement with the Department of Children and Family Services. The Department of Children and Family Services pay for everything: salary, benefits, vehicle, equipment, uniforms, all of it. I wouldn't come to this committee asking for another body if we had to spend a nickel on any sort of personnel to do that. Do I think they need assistance with police to go to homes? Absolutely. But you know, the agreement would include everything. So what it does on our end, though, is requires another body for us to hire. However, if everything is 100% reimbursed, including salary, benefits, pensions, vehicles, all that stuff, I think it's worth our while to get involved. Now, the one question I'm sure somebody has, so I'll try and answer it before they ask it, is how long will this last? Because we all know how things go with grants, mandates, payment by the state of Illinois, and how those work. And without the assurance wasn't 100%, but I'd have to think that with the things that have happened to these DCFS agents, that they would not want to go backwards once they do this. No guarantee, but take a message, I'm busy. That's okay. With the way things are in the state of Illinois as far as safety and security of these people who are going to houses, involving kids, and in some cases taking away kids, I think that this is something that won't go away. If it does go away, however, there is always that option of attrition with our department as far as somebody retiring or whatever. So, I mean, I think to enter into the agreement again, if it's going to cost us a nickel, I would opt out. But you know, I think in this case, I think we move forward and get moving on this to help, because obviously these kids and the way things are going in our system, these kids need all the help they can get. So.
Can I have a motion by Mr. Question? Okay, Mr. Fairfield.
Sheriff, will this cover the retirement and overtime in this agreement?
Yes, it'll cover, yeah. Well, as what I've been told.
Okay.
And like I said, if it doesn't, then we'll deal with that later. But yeah, I was told it would involve anything. There shouldn't be a lot of overtime, or any overtime really, because DCFS really, I think, kind of works, you know, daytime hours.
Yeah.
They're not 24/7, so I think we would. I mean, when our officer goes on vacation, because they would obviously accrue time, we would backfill that with somebody to be there during that time. But that should be covered as well.
Okay, I'd like to make that motion.
Okay, Mr. Fairfield made the motion, second by Ms. Parker. Question by Mr. Long. Oh, no? Okay. Mr. Featherling.
Do you have to hire officers specifically for that job, or can you hire somebody from? Can you move somebody from within and then hire?
No, we would move somebody from within.
Yeah, because if you have an older guy that can't run or something, or that kind of stuff. No, you know what I mean.
Mr. Featherling, we don't have any of those.
Oh, well, I see these guys. I see them here.
Well, they're all retired.
Oh, that's true.
They retired before they had to run.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Just wondering. I didn't know if you had to specifically get that guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was a good joke there, John. Mr. Wheeler.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just, it is somewhat tongue-in-cheek I ask this, but it is a possibility down the road. Why didn't they require a mental health professional instead of an officer? And I say that sarcastically, but I mean, is that a possibility that they're going to add that on at some point? Or, you know, with the big, you know, if there's a complaint made by a parent, is that going to stay on that officer's record forever?
Well, under 35 or 3653, yes. But the issue, I think, Chairman, is this. One of the main reasons that they want us there, obviously, is to, and they don't want us up at the door with them. They want us off to the side or wherever. But the other issue is to do a lot of family background investigations, who they're dealing with, because right now they don't know that. So no, right now I don't see them involving mental health at this point, but certainly down the road, and your question is very good, because we all know that mental health is a huge issue. So certainly could be an issue later, but right for now, they want for their safety, number one, and then they want us to do extensive backgrounds on everybody in the house, who they're dealing with, and so on. So
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Mr. Huss.
Thank you, Chairman. Sheriff, if by chance they're not needed on a day, they should still work and be on a regular patrol schedule
yes,
then?
yes.
Great.
Any other questions? If not, roll call.
Mr. Ecka?
Aye.
Mr. Fairfield? Mr. Hess? Ms. Weber?
Aye.
Ms. Parker? Mr. Swanson? Mr. Featherling? Mr. Dennell? Mr. Miller? Mr. Long? Mr. Hunter? Mr. Hunter?
Steve, you're on mute.
Aye.
Mr.
you get me?
Wheeler?
Yes.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Next up is correction vans for Kankakee County Sheriff's Department.
Yeah. Corrections vans have become quite hard to get. Harder than Tahoes, if you can believe it. We have reached out to the other 102 sheriffs, and one of the things that we require, that we need, are transit vans that have air and heat in the back of the van, because we're transporting humans. I know there are those out there that would say, heck with them, they don't need air conditioning, they don't need heat, but they do. So those transit vans are hard to get. What I'm asking, and I'm really not asking for any sort of money today, I'm just asking, or maybe even letting you guys know, that I'm going to order vans and see what we get, because the responses I got from other sheriffs have been, yeah, we ordered those vans 2 years ago and we still don't have them. So I just want you guys to know that I'm going to order, and I think I gave the number at the criminal justice as 5, for a couple reasons. Number one, if it turns out that we're able to get a couple sooner rather than later, that would make it easier. If they all 5 come at once, we obviously wouldn't have a need for all 5 at once, but I can guarantee you that there are other sheriffs across the state of Illinois who would jump on them. Yeah, so right now we have 2 handicapped accessible vehicles, a bus and a which is a 2005 bus that can handle a wheelchair, and we also have a 2013 handicap accessible minivan. I believe it's a Dodge Caravan, and that is plenty for us to be able to transport anybody in a wheelchair. We are still using, on a minimum basis, 2 vans from 2009, which would make them 14 years old. They've got approximately 140,000 miles on each of them. We don't send those out of town. Those are all in-town vehicles. We do have 5 transit vans, 2 2017s, one 2018, and 2 2021 vans. The 2021 vans have 49,000 and 35,000 miles respectively. So obviously those will continue to utilize those for quite some time. The 2018 transit van actually has 144,000 miles on it, which is a lot. And the other 2, the 2017s, both have 128,000, 139,000 respectively. We are also utilizing some 2011 Tahoes that, again, were Tahoes that we had replaced, but we are utilizing them for in-town transports only. So we obviously will surplus some of those vans with your approval, obviously. There is at this point no state bid pricing available. We have been told that state bid price would be coming out in March, and I think we have 2 days left to see if we can get state bid pricing. So the prices that we received are fleet prices, which are a little bit different than state bid prices. The state bid price for the transit van is $49,543.26. I can tell you that the transports that we are doing now, obviously we're going back and forth to the courthouse. We do transports for juveniles up to River Valley, and in some cases to some other juvenile detention facilities, depending on, I think, cost. But we do all the juvenile transports for juvenile probation. We do medical appointments, which are all mostly in town, doctors, ERs, hospital. There are occasions where we have to take somebody to a specialist, maybe to Joliet. We have out-of-county pickups for warrants, and obviously our federal transports to Chicago, to Central Illinois, either to Urbana, Peoria, or Springfield, and to the Northern District of Indiana, which is Hammond. And obviously for the last 2.5 years, those transports have been significantly curtailed due to COVID, but those are starting to pick up again. So we are going to be putting some miles on some vehicles as well. So
I have a question on, so do you have a cost guesstimate on the 5 vans, or?
I think, did I total these? I did. So now I totaled them for the $49,543. So there's 2 ways we can do the setup of these transit vans. We can have them fabricated locally. I think Bourbonnais Supply is the one that had the company that has been fabricating these for us. They have quoted us a cost of approximately $25,000 to prefab these vans. There are also prefabricate they're inserts is what they are. They're inserts is what they are, already fabricated. There, I said it. And those run, the quote we got was anywhere from $18,000 to $23,000, so they're a little cheaper. So we would go the direction of the prefabricated insert, and if you look at the high end, you're looking at $72,543 per vehicle, or a total of $362,716. Now, again, that's not going to happen all at once. We are not going to call today and have 5 vans, have 5 vans here in a month. So,
any questions?
So I'm not asking for any money today. I'm just asking to letting you guys know that we're going to order some transit vans.
Mr. Huss.
I was going to make a motion that we move forward on this, but my second question is House Bill 1727, it was passed. It says patrol vehicle. We couldn't sneak one of these in on that, right? Chairman Wheeler sent it out to everybody.
Yeah, where you don't have to get
pricing.
You don't have to get price. You don't have to get pricing on it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, obviously we want to do that, but again, we still want to work to keep the cost as low as we possibly can.
I'm sure, but
yeah,
can we get a transit van with that on that House bill?
I don't know.
Something to look into.
I will look into it. Give me the House bill again, Bones.
1727.
So Mr. Hess made a motion to allow the sheriff to do this, a second by Mr. Fairfield. Question, Mr. Long.
Just a comment. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You know, I have a little experience with these old vehicles, especially white ones that run up and down the road a lot. And the more miles that are on them, I'll put out a scenario for you. Let's say we have a prisoner that's going somewhere and it's out of county, and it could be Minnesota. And we have this 140,000 mile van that's in Minnesota and breaks down with a prisoner inside of it. Worst case scenario. These vehicles need to be updated often. 100,000 is not asking too much out of a vehicle, but certainly by the time you get to 140, they're well beyond their usefulness to us. And I think it's just a safety issue all the way around. Is it rusted? Is it worn out? Are you going to break down? What is the risk to the occupants of the vehicle sitting alongside the highway? It's just, I think it's just good common sense to say they need to be replaced as soon as we can do that.
I agree 100%.
And I will say, in addition to what Mr. Long said, and he did it for a long time as well, the vehicles are well maintained, they're well taken care of, but they, like anything that we're all experiencing with age, everything starts to break down. Goes for cars as well as humans. So.
Any questions from anybody on Zoom?
Just a very thorough explanation.
Very good. I'm going to go ahead and ask for a roll call vote on this.
Mr. Eckhoff?
Aye.
Mr. Fairfield?
Aye.
Mr. Hess?
Aye.
Ms. Weber?
Aye.
Ms. Parker?
Aye.
Mr. Swanson?
Aye.
Mr. Featherling?
Aye.
Mr. Dennell?
Aye.
Mr. Miller?
Aye.
Mr. Long?
Aye.
Mr. Hunter?
Aye.
Mr. Wheeler?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Motion carries. Anything else, Sheriff?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, as Mr. Long alluded to, the older the vans, the more miles they have on them. It would be like Mr. Fairfield chasing one of our inmates. So, we'll be much better off as we get these vans. That's it.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you for the running joke today, John. Any other comments or questions, old or new business from the committee? None. Motion to adjourn. Mr. Hess, second. By Mr. Long. All in favor say aye.
Aye.